Hello and welcome to Snoo with the Crew with Adam Gatterell.
Oh, hello.
I quite like that. Hello, you did that last week as well.
Did I?
That's kind of...
Just got excited. Hello.
Ross Murphy.
Good evening.
Bobbin Dick... Oh, no.
Bobbin's not here. He thought it was Tuesday.
Well, it is technically when people are listening to this, but...
That's all right. We'll let him off this time as long as he brings cakes and beer next time.
Cakes and beer.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Or beer's
Cakes
made of
and
cake.
or beer.
Cake's made of beer.
Beer cake.
Beer cake.
Actually,
Beer battered cake.
I noticed when I went for dinner yesterday, the restaurant were offering chocolate and ale pie as a dessert.
Interesting.
Oh, no. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it?
Is that just a bit of chocolate pie floating in ale?
Absolutely no idea whatsoever. And I don't really want to.
Pussy.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll try it next time. I didn't want to spend £7 on something that might be horrendous, that's all.
You didn't want to spend £7, mate.
Well, this is true. I'm quite frugal.
To be honest, I wouldn't have been spending £7 on a pudding.
No, just heroin.
£7 on heroin? You're
Yeah.
a good dealer.
Well,
Well, first one's half price, isn't it? Give me a ring in a bit. I'll sort you out. If anyone wants to buy drugs, no, I did. Just delete that.
that is staying in the podcast. Definitely.
I'm not a drug dealer, I promise.
Right, yes, so we don't have Bobbin this week, and we have got a fair bit of news to whip through.
Woo!
So let's have a little look, shall we?
Look at the snooze.
Snooze of the world. Ross, you know more about this one. The Switch Zelda game.
No, what? The Switch is a piece of hardware.
Yes.
Nintendo's new console came out this week.
Ooh.
It is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the new game. It's also available on Wii U, but you would have to spend money on that unless you've already got it.
Yeah, my mate's got a Wii U.
It's
He's
shit,
on his
isn't it?
fifth
Well,
one.
it's not shit.
Apparently, the customer care service is fantastic. When your Wii U dies, they just send you a new one, and you send them the one that doesn't work. But so far, I think he's had it a year and a bit, and he's played it for about a week because it's the only time it's worked.
I think the thing is with Nintendo, they have no third-party support at all, so nobody makes any games for their system. But
They used to with the Wii, though, didn't they? They had things like FIFA and EA stuff on it.
No, they didn't really. They had a lot of what people would call shovelware because it sold like 130 million units. There was a lot of fucking really garbage. Like I think things like Just Dance. I think Just Dance has sold the most units on the Wii.
Is it Just Dance that's got like a Star Wars version?
That is a thing on the Kinect on the Xbox, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
Right,
The
okay.
Xbox 360 Kinect has got a Star Wars dancing game.
I saw that
So-
on my favourite TV programme,
Wasn't there?
What was that?
Big Bang Theory.
Fuck Big Bang Theory.
Wasn't there?
Oh, we got to talk about Big Bang Theory.
That's
this week
gonna
as well.
happen a lot tonight.
Anyway, all I wanted to really say about Zelda is I can't justify spending £350 to play it
No.
because that's how much.
$350, did you say?
It's $279 plus the game plus probably fucking another controller or something stupid like that. But it has been getting really good reviews, and
The console or the game?
the game and Edge magazine, who are
Still
very
going.
highly regarded magazine, don't give out a lot of 10s. They score their games out of 10, gave Breath of the Wild a 10. I think it's probably the 40th. They've probably given out less than 50 10s since they've been going, which is probably
I remember
20
buying
years.
Edge, I think, when I had a Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's quite highbrow. You have to be really into games to really want to.
Yeah, it's not your average. Here's a picture. Here's a quick funny
It's
review.
like-
Here's
No,
a
it's-
out of 5.
It's like Empire for games, isn't it?
yeah.
But
Maybe
it's
even
also
better.
really, it's printed on really, really nice stock. It's like a softback coffee table book,
Yeah.
basically. What I do buy is sometimes they do like these one-off magazines, like they'll just do, and you go into WH Smith's, which is a new Newsagents in the United Kingdom, and they do these magazines that are like £10, but they'll just be like a softback book, and they're really, really cool. Like they did. Future Publishing did one on the Commodore Amiga, and I bought that because it's fucking brilliant.
So more like a kind of look back special edition glossy kind of, rather than, or is this a weekly publication that do these things?
Oh, they're monthlies, and then
Yeah.
then the ones that I was talking about just then are more like.
Oh, that's still by age, is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm almost getting as bored as when I played Zelda that time. Can we move
Zelda's
on to the
really
next
good.
story?
Yeah. All I wanted to really say about Zelda is I'm not prepared to buy the hardware, but I'll probably buy a copy of the game.
The
and
hardware's too.
emulate it at some point.
Like
because
I
it's really
can't
good.
afford a PS4. I can't, so I definitely can't justify a Switch.
No.
Although some of the Nintendos have had like Ghostbusters, which was Activision, was it?
Ghostbusters
game?
isn't the only game in the
No,
world.
no,
Adam,
no,
or the
but-
only franchise.
But there was a version on Nintendo Wii that was slightly different to the version that was on other consoles. So they do get third-party stuff, but I'm not gonna buy that new console just for a few Zelda
2 games a year. 2 games a year. Controversially, I will take the stand that I'm quite happy for Nintendo to give up making hardware and just become a software publisher.
Fair enough.
Because I would like to
Wasn't
play
that
their
the fall
games.
of Sega?
Well, no, Sega they had to do it. It's not.
Oh,
it
Kind of
wasn't-
forced out the game, weren't they, really?
I as much as I'm really fond of Nintendo and I have huge fond memories of Nintendo and I've got lots of their hardware, I haven't bought a Nintendo game or console for probably at least 5 years, and I'm really ready for them to just go, no, we're just going to make the best games out there, which they do, but on modern, up-to-date kit that looks really good.
Fair
and
enough.
that I already own.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I've not been tempted to buy anything since the Wii. I've still got one.
I haven't been tempted since N64.
The GameCube's cracking console, best controller ever.
It
Yeah,
was.
everyone says that. I've never had a
I've
chance
got
to
the older
properly
version
play
Wii
it.
as well, so it takes the old Cube
Yeah,
controllers.
maybe we'll play Smash Brothers as a podcast one day.
That'd be good fun.
Ooh, I've never played it.
It's really good.
I do like that
We'll
game.
get drunk and play Smash Brothers and
Yeah.
record a podcast at the same time.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a
That's a
cracking
promise.
idea.
Grab the screen as well.
Right, next.
Adam, something more that you'll be more appreciative of, because you love Michael Bay and his work with the Transformers, don't you?
No, I think he's a twat and deserves to burn in hell.
Hey,
Can you just say hell
Yeah.
yeah for me and I'll edit it in?
No. I'll say he did alright when he did Bad Boys.
oh, The Island. I like The Island.
No, don't like
And
it.
Pain and Gain's pretty cool as
Actually, yeah, that was okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
Transformers, no, don't give a
okay.
shit.
So, did you see, by any chance, Kubo and the 12 Strings?
Yes, very good film.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Okay, so the director's got control of the Bumblebee spin-off movie.
So it's not Michael Bay.
It's not Michael. Well, he's probably going to be a
still
producer,
there,
isn't
yeah.
he?
Probably
well. He's
walking
probably
around.
executive producer of Explosions.
Well, he's probably walking around with his hand puppet, Megan Fox.
He's probably going to still have some say in what's going on with the movie, but directors tend to get a little, at least
A little bit more creativity,
Yeah,
don't they?
well, we'll see. So yes, it's probably going to be much like having a big studio fucking with you all the time, isn't it?
Probably.
Just pushing you in certain directions. Anyway, so do you give a shit?
No.
No, didn't
I
think
haven't
you would.
liked any of the Transformers films. The only time I've ever watched
You
any
really
of them...
want to, though, don't you?
No.
I really want to.
I sat down when I had the flu for the first time 3 years ago, because I got my first cold 3 years ago. It turned into flu and then tonsillitis. So I spent 2 weeks in bed. I actually watched the first 3 Transformers properly. Never again, ever, will I watch a Transformers film.
Fair enough. I did race out because what I meant is that you really want them to be good.
Oh yeah, I wanted them to be good.
So I rushed out to the cinema to watch the second one, and fuck me, I've never been so close to walking out of a movie in my life.
The
It
problem,
was that bad.
Ah.
the problem is Transformers the movie is brilliant.
Yeah.
And none of them will ever be, unless they do a shot-for-shot remake of Transformers the movie.
I don't know why they didn't.
That would be fucking
I don't know why all
brilliant.
the vehicles had to be modern vehicles. Why couldn't they have just still been a Volkswagen Beetle? Why couldn't Bumblebee still be a Volkswagen Beetle? Why does he have to be a Camaro? I don't
Was he a
understand.
Camaro in Transformers movie, was he? He'd been
In the
updated.
new one? He like...
Oh, you mean in the
Yeah.
film?
I
No,
mean,
Ross means the
Transformers.
animated
Yeah,
movie.
that's what I
the
mean.
movie.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
I
the,
don't
ana-
mean-
the
Yeah,
animated.
the animated
movie.
Transformers,
Bumblebee
the
was
movie.
Bumblebee was a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
So why couldn't he be in the modern films? Why couldn't
Oh,
they
yeah.
still
I
do
see what
that?
you mean.
I don't understand why they had to change all the vehicles to be these flashy over the top. It's like, isn't it easier to hide a Volkswagen Beetle in plain sight than it is a massive giant yellow Camaro with a 15-year-old
you haven't
driving
been,
it.
You haven't been to America, have
Yeah,
you?
but what sort of 15-year-old's going to have a Camaro?
There's those cars are everywhere.
Right, okay.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like a cheap
They don't
sports car?
Cars don't cost the same as they do in this country. They cost lots of dollars, but the real cost of buying them is not the same as it is over
I
here.
still think
There's
they
shitloads of muscle cars in America. Well, there was on the West Coast anyway.
Yeah.
Can't tell you about the middle.
So yeah, fuck Transformers, and probably fuck Trolls 2.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, that's in the works.
Apparently, Trolls is really good
I don't understand how you can make a film about a plastic thing with funny hair.
because it. Admittedly, I saw the trailer because that's the thing I've had to start doing now. Since
Watch trailers, yeah.
Start watching fucking trailers because it's a fucking podcast. You can cut that out. So yeah, we watched the trailer and I just turned around to Hannah and was like, "This would be the best movie in the world if I smoked weed." It's just a weed smoking movie. It's like every Attenborough thing's just so many colours that you're like, 420, man. I wish I smoked weed. Trolls is like that. It's like, you remember the...
Unless you're a child, you need
cat?
to be under the influence of something for it to be enjoyable.
Yeah, I imagine kids think it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. That's what it's aimed at, so maybe a second one's warranted, but then they've got to like Alvin and the Chipmunks 4 and Smurfs 5 now, and it's just...
See, that's exactly what I assumed it would be like. Something much like that. Loads of songs and things designed to draw in small children and
Annoying
brainwash them into
voices.
thinking that sort of music.
No,
okay.
I think it fits more into the category of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, where you weren't expecting anything and it's fucking good. Because both Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 1 and 2 are fantastic movies.
Ross,
Yeah.
would you like to see Jaws screening at the Albert Hall with a live orchestra?
Right, this is not as simple as a yes or no answer. I would like to see Jaws with a live orchestra at the Royal Albert Hall, but I don't think of the soundtrack for Jaws as a huge orchestral piece.
The soundtrack's the least interesting
No,
thing
it's
about it, other
super
than that
important.
one bit.
I understand why
Yeah.
they're doing it, and it's a super important soundtrack, but the thought of seeing pretty much any other John Williams movie, any other movie that John Williams has written the score for, I would rather watch Attack of the Clones and with a live orchestra at the Royal Albert Hall than Jaws,
Fair enough.
because as bad as Attack of the Clones is, its soundtrack warrants the majesty of a
that's the
full
thing with
orchestra in
Jaws.
the
There's
Albert
only
Hall.
one or two bits where you really think of the soundtrack with Jaws.
Well,
you don't like all of the sort of songs that John Williams has done for soundtracks. Like, that film is not got like a whole album's worth of stuff. You'd be like, oh yeah, the song from that bit and the music from that bit, and it doesn't, like Star Wars. Yeah, you've got 5 or 6 majorly famous pieces that even people that have never seen the films still kind of would end up humming along if they heard it. Same as a lot of the other films he's done. There's certain bits of soundtracks that get into people's heads as part of pop culture as well as being important in the films, whereas Jaws, it's only
When you say one or two bits, you mean literally
literally two notes. Yeah.
But, and don't get me wrong, that in itself is
genius.
Is genius, and it will all, he can't have long left on this earth.
No.
And it will be, people will go gush about the Jaws soundtrack.
It's a weird
But
one
if
to go.
if I was deciding what John Williams soundtrack was being played live to a film, it would probably be number 10 on that list.
He's definitely one of those people that will never die his third death, isn't he? Do you know what I mean by third death?
Nope.
No.
So your first death is the death of your body. The second death is everybody's memory of you. And your third death is whatever you've written or left behind.
That's fucking horrible.
No,
No,
I get
that
what
terrifies me.
Why?
I don't want there to be. I want the shit that I've done to be around forever.
Well then.
Haunting people.
There you are.
Hey.
You better get working.
you mean. So
Yeah.
you mean literally like he will be remembered like Mozart and Beethoven and every.
Well, I imagine George Lucas has got a can of bloody Jaws in a museum somewhere, isn't he?
Probably.
Well, you'd want to think so, but probably not.
Do you not think so? Don't you think him and Steven Spielberg are pretty.
Yeah,
Pally.
yeah. I was just trying to think of something funny to say about George Lucas fucking up Star Wars.
Because that's all that ever goes through your head.
He doesn't know. We had this conversation, and I don't think it made it to podcast. He didn't fuck up Star Wars. He made Star Wars, then he fucked it up.
Yeah,
So you can't ever be angry with him.
Star Wars.
He made Star Wars.
A New Hope was a fluke.
No, it wasn't.
Did you see the Legends of Tomorrow
Fuck you
episode?
all.
Did you
I'll
see
fuck you all.
Did you see the recent Legends of Tomorrow DC show? There was an episode where, spoilers, one of the characters has been sent back to the 60s and lost his memory and thinks he's a filmmaker, and then the bad guys go in and like attack him and the other people in his crew. He gets taken away by the good guys, and then the bad guys go after his mate who was working on the film with him, George. And then that guy's so terrified from what he's seen that he never makes Star Wars or Indiana Jones. So two of the main characters, suddenly, one's not a doctor and one's not a historian because they never saw those films and got inspired. So funny. They end up in a trash compactor together with George Lucas searching for a bit of wood as it's crushing them. It's hilarious. Just for that one episode, if you don't watch it, watch it.
What was the show? Sorry.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very funny.
I've got to admit, I've not watched any of those as of yet.
They're all right. It's Doctor Who, but DC characters that no one cares about anymore from the other TV shows, so they put them all together in one, and it works.
Fair enough.
It's fun. Anyway.
Right, yeah, so before Ross smashes something, or we better crack on. We found out why the Oscar fuck-ups happened. Did you guys hear that at all?
Don't care.
You don't care? Do you want to know?
We talked about it, didn't we?
No, but why? Why the Oscar fuck-ups
Because
happened?
someone gave someone the wrong envelope?
Yeah, well, there's a specific company that are responsible for having those envelopes, and it's PwC accountants. And so there's two staff members there, a Brian Cullinan and a Martha Roos, I think. Maybe.
Ruiz.
Anyway, so Brian Cullinan was tweeting a picture of Scarlett Johansson and became distracted and handed over the wrong envelope.
What do you mean? What, tweeting a picture of what? Backstage nude, like
Yes.
her
Well,
in the
not-
audience,
Not
or
backstage nude, but just a backstage picture.
what,
Apparently,
with her,
I don't know.
or just photographing her from behind.
It doesn't matter.
Like,
The fact is, he was tweeting something. He was told, not that they're told as part of the deal for them having the job, is that they can't use any social media while they're at the event, and yeah, so they're fired.
I would categorically tell you right now that if I was in the same building as Scarlett Johansson, I wouldn't know what an envelope even was anymore. Let alone I had to do something with it.
Do you want me to edit that out?
No, you
Okay,
can keep that one
fair
in.
enough. And it wasn't the only fuck up at the Oscar. I mentioned last. Sorry, we'll just let Adam set that one up.
Anyway, yeah, carry on.
It wasn't the only fuck up at the Oscar. Did you hear about the memorial piece that they did at the Oscars at all?
No.
So they're doing like all the people that died in the previous year, pictures of them, you know.
Oh right, all the
and
big
stuff.
movie stars and
Yeah,
directors and
that's right.
writers,
and Bill Paxton didn't quite make it in because he died just at the wrong time.
Oh.
However, there's a producer called Jan Chapman, whose face and name was put up on the memorial
Right.
piece, and she's not dead.
Oh wow,
Yeah, she's a bit upset apparently.
amazing.
Oh, yeah, you guys will love this bit of news. The Big Bang Theory spin-off has cast its young Sheldon.
No one cares. Next.
Do you not want to know what it's about at all?
What?
No, I don't.
The
Why,
show.
why are they doing a spin-off when the main series hasn't finished?
They're doing-
Like, and it's him but younger. Like
Ross will love this even more. It's a prequel.
what? But
No,
why?
again, no one cares.
But why are they doing a prequel to a show that hasn't even finished?
Because it's the biggest show in
Like-
America and they want all the money.
Yeah, but like do a spin-off about the guy that owns the comic shop or something. At least like
Kevin
so
Smith already makes that show.
Well, yeah.
It's called Comic Book Guys. Is it called Comic Book Guys?
I think
Yeah.
it is.
Comic
it
Book
is,
Men, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's all right.
They are in negotiations for a two-year renewal for the main show anyway.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought they were going to stop at series 10
Well,
like
that's-
most.
There's no accounting for taste.
No.
De gustibus non est despitandum. Sorry if you speak Latin out there, then I probably fucked that up. But anyway, so At the moment, they're getting like 1 million per episode, aren't they, for season 10?
Which is pretty much what was going on for the Friends cast.
Exactly. So does it mean they're going to get more than 1 million per episode?
Well, I don't know. Like the last series of Friends, weren't the last couple of episodes they're getting more than 1 million for the last few episodes or something? And Jennifer Aniston wasn't even there for half of it. They've got extras taking bits of her costume and wearing the wrong stuff. If you watch the last series of Friends, there's so many times when Rachel, Jennifer Aniston's character, is stood in a scene and she's wearing entirely different clothes from the angle they've just shown, and actually it's just not her. It's just weird. When it gets to that point with a sitcom, it should have already ended in my eyes. Friends is easy to watch. It was one of the first sort of modern sitcoms that was actually funny, but it was weak still. And I think that there's just so many American sitcoms and very few of them are actually top quality comedy, and I don't understand how the actors get to that point where they're paid that much for a TV show.
I'm sorry, but can I just ask this one question? Why do we live in a world where The Big Bang Theory is a bigger show than The Office, Parks and Rec, or Community?
Parks and Rec is genius. Office I have only seen a little bit of, and what was the other one?
I've not seen the American version.
Oh, Community.
The American version of The Office is really good.
But
It's fantastic.
there are only a couple of people that make Community really, really good, aren't there?
No, like the first 4 seasons are brilliant. First 3 seasons are brilliant.
Once you've lost Donald Glover, is that not just a bit?
It's still good.
Still good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the thing is with that, you've got such an overarching group of people of society within the one program that it just changes all the time anyway, the dynamics, and as they introduce and take away different characters in it kind of works. Whereas Big Bang Theory, it's the same, every episode follows the same pattern. It's just not that funny to me anymore. Like the first couple of series I was like, oh, okay.
There are episodes that I'm sure you'd like. I can pretty much guarantee, Ross, that there's an episode that you'd like. But maybe we'll try it one day. Maybe not.
What are we talking about?
It's all right. We'll move on. So, DuckTales. DuckTales is getting a reboot.
Woo!
Exactly.
What, as a film or as a series?
As a series.
Oh, wicked. What, live action or animated?
Animated.
Yay.
The animation looks pretty sucky.
DuckTales.
But then again, it might be because I'm old. Thanks for the silence, guys. Right. Oh, yeah. So it looks like the animation to me looks a little clunky, but
In clunky in what sense?
it's just like not enough frames in the animation for my liking.
Oh, okay.
Much like looking at Ross walking around the room.
Weird wobbly leg mode.
Anyway,
He looks very confused. He's doing a weird wobbly face mode.
Do you think maybe they haven't sent the animation frames off to Korea yet to get the other 25 per thing filled in?
surely that's done by computer these days.
No.
No, it's not.
No,
is it?
it's, honestly, it's still done on
Is it?
paper.
Is it
That's
really?
the reason Dan Harmon's making that big long rap joke about
We're drawing it.
we're drawing it, because it's still
If you're listening at
done
home,
frame by frame.
He's the guy that does Rick and Morty. If you don't know who we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, animation is still done like on paper. It's weird that South Park is probably the only one that's done animated wise, and they did use the engine or animation engine that was used for doing Jurassic Park.
I think the reason South Park is done the way it's done is to make it. They have a really tight production schedule, don't they?
Yeah, day and a half
to keep it relevant, and they bash out like do they
day
do
and a
2
half.
seasons a year as well, don't they?
No, they
Or
do
they
one season a year, but like each episode, they have the ongoing storyline, but the relevant news for each episode is written in and created in a day and a half.
So that explains why the seasons that have got loads of episodes in them are generally not so great.
What, the earlier ones?
No, well, middle ones.
I think-
Actually, what are we on now? 13 seasons or something?
Yeah,
I think it probably
17. I
So
don't know.
season sort of 5-ish, I'm going to say, in the middle there, where they were doing like 24 plus episodes per season. The quality was pretty dire.
Yeah, because I think they split the season into 2 halves now as well.
I think the thing with South Park as well is it's hard to go back to because it's so relevant to the time that it's shown.
True.
There's a few storylines that kind of have relevant stuff in, but have enough of an overarching storyline that you can kind of still watch them in a way that's funny now. But yeah, a lot of the stuff is just relevant to the time, so it does become kind of irrelevant. But yeah, like they're the only animated show that I can think of that is not done in the old-fashioned way, which is crazy.
Talking of stuff that's irrelevant, they're doing a bloody Christopher Robin movie.
Great.
Why would you do that?
No.
That seems a bit weird to me.
Who's Christopher Robin?
The guy from the little boy from Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
So, sorry, is this a live action Winnie the Pooh movie?
I don't know if it's live action.
Or is
I just know that the guy that wrote Spotlight is rewriting, so it suggests it's already had a right, doesn't it? Tom McCarthy is rewriting Disney's Christopher Robin movie. So yeah, I don't know if it's live action.
Because what's after the Lion King? Have they not decided yet?
Lion King? What, they're doing a live
they're
action?
doing live action versions of all their movies.
With
aren't
Donald
they?
Glover, yeah, they are, with Donald Glover and
they? James L. Jones.
James L. Jones, yeah.
Mufasa. We probably have the slightly wrong cosplay style
Why do they
voice he had
have
in
to
Rogue
do
One.
live action versions of all their films? Who decided that? Why does that need to happen?
To be honest, Adam, I'll stop you right there. Have you seen the live action Jungle Book?
No.
It's fucking brilliant.
I have it. I agree. It is very good.
Isn't it Jon Favreau?
Yes, it is.
I will probably go and see Beauty and the Beast at the cinema because my girlfriend loves it.
It's got
And
cracking reviews.
I was
Apart from in Russia, because of the gay character,
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna
Fuck you,
completely and parts of America are gonna completely ban it being shown
Just
because of the gay character.
they've got an openly gay character in it.
Yeah,
I
which is sad, really.
yeah, I wasn't pumped about any of these movies, and I saw the Jungle Book, and then when they announced the Lion King,
what's different
was-
about the Jungle Book other than the fact that it's live action?
nothing. But it's a cool story, and it's
I don't want to watch any of those films again, though. Why do I
Was-
want to? I don't want to watch Lion King again. I don't want to watch Beauty and the Beast again. I watched them once; they were okay. They
Lion
did their
King,
thing.
The original is bloody good, actually,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I just don't want to watch it again. I've seen it once; it was good. It did its thing. It's basically like a Shakespeare story, but with animals.
I suppose you could argue if the animation's a bit old, it perhaps needs updating and renewing.
Yeah, they're just why can't they write new stories?
Like you wouldn't watch Alice in Wonderland now, would you?
No.
well, yeah, because I strongly disagree with that statement. I think older animation, stuff that is animated in a particular art style, like The Lion King, looks like The Lion King. It doesn't look any worse or any better than when it came out. It
Yeah.
looks exactly like it did. Toy Story, on the other hand,
Ooh, yeah, that's aged badly.
Has it?
has aged terribly
I haven't watched
because
that in ages.
Because of the humans, though, isn't it, really?
when you think about it, when Toy Story came out, The Lion King was the apex of animation, and
And then you had South Park and Toy Story. Like,
and then
just
Toy Story
after.
had just come out afterwards, and that was the bottom of CGI on its way up. And yeah,
Right.
they've aged terribly. I don't know if they've ever thought about a way where they can, because obviously they've rendered all the models again, haven't they, for Toy Story? Can they lay those new high-res models over the original animations and dialogue and music of Toy Story?
And just
I
do
imagine,
like a re-edit.
I imagine
So-
they probably could.
Tell you what, Pixar, if you're listening, can you please cancel Cars 3 and do that instead, please? Thank you very much. Okay, sticking with Disney for a second. Mary Poppins,
Sherry Bobbins.
the sequel. We've got a first look this week at Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins. Did you guys?
Yeah, I've seen the picture.
Yeah.
I
think
don't care.
It's not very revealing.
She
Adam
looks
doesn't
really good.
care. I don't mean revealing in... yeah. Anyway,
She ain't got a tit out feeding the children.
no. Tuppence a bag. No.
Fucking hell. It's the best joke Chris has ever pulled off on this podcast. I almost want
Thank
him
you
to
very
leave
much.
that in because
I think he should leave that one in.
Tuppence a bag.
They're going to be old now, though, aren't they? Dick Van Dyke and that. Like, you can't
Apparently
really...
he's going to be in the movie.
Yeah, but like,
But
he's
is he
not
gonna
really
be
the
in the
same character, is he?
Or is he
Who
going to be
knows?
in the movie like Stan Lee's in the movie?
He might be like a...
Walk into a corner and go, "Oh, diagnosis murder," and then just fall down
Or
a
it'd be
chimney.
a
or
corpse
something.
falling out of a chimney. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't care. I didn't like Mary Poppins.
Did you not?
No.
You grouchy old bastard.
Yeah, you are.
Well, no, but I was just made to watch Mary Poppins, Oliver, Annie, the one with the mountains,
Sound of Music.
Yeah, like
The one with the mountains.
yeah, because they
That's
all
brilliant.
sing about the song with the hills and shit. My granddad always used to sing it at me to annoy me. And all those other things like bed knobs and broomsticks and all those
Another classic.
just shite.
It's not
Like,
shy, Adam.
Maybe at the time they were interesting, but I just, as a kid, just thought this is boring and annoying and everyone's singing for no fucking reason. And I don't like any of the characters other than Dick Van Dyke.
But that was the golden age of the musical when all of the songs were super catchy and super, and La La Land is...
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah, fuck
thank
off,
you.
that's catchy.
All the songs in Mary Poppins are.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
I'm
don't remember any of them, other than that word, because it's a ridiculous word.
Let's Go Fly a Kite.
No,
No?
couldn't sing it to you.
Feed the birds, tuppence a bag.
No.
Tuppence.
Yeah, you can
tuppence
hold
a
your tit
bag.
at me,
A
but I'm not
spoonful of
paying.
sugar
Yeah, don't know how it goes.
makes the medicine.
I'm
go
sorry. I
down.
think the general consensus is that Mary Poppins is a bit of a masterpiece
Why?
because it's just a brilliant movie, isn't it?
A weird magical nanny.
Yeah, what's wrong with a
Ooh.
weird magical
It's
nanny?
just
You sound like
boring.
you need a weird magical nanny or needed one to be
No.
less of a melancholy.
No, because there's loads of stuff I
Bastard.
loved as a kid, but they just never made it as films. I was always
It's because
made
they
to
would-
watch that shit instead.
Cartoons made to sell you toys.
Yeah, but I never got any Transformers. I still loved it.
So he still doesn't know whether he likes the Ghostbusters or the real Ghostbusters.
I think we just uncovered why Adam's so bitter and twisted. And
No,
he
I
didn't-
just don't get those films. I've tried watching them when I was older, because like as a kid I just found them annoying and boring and stuff because we were just made to watch them at certain times, and then going back to watch like any of those when they've been on TV, and I thought, I'll give it a go. I still don't like them.
I
I
appreciate.
just don't like them.
I appreciate where you're coming from.
Yeah.
As in, I've tried to watch the IMDb's top 250 movies,
Yeah.
just to go. I'd like to know what the best 250 movies
Yeah.
are,
Fair
and
play.
sometimes I watch a film and I just go, I really don't want to be watching this.
I ain't got enough time in the day to waste watching something I don't like. It's the same as reading.
So I don't watch
books.
bad films.
Yeah.
There's not enough time. And I know people love bad movies.
I like a bad movie if it's bad because it's funny or something like that. Like it's done in a way where it kind of knows it's
Yeah,
bad.
no, I haven't got. To,
But
what I'm saying is
I can't
haven't
give
even-
time to a film that is genuinely bad.
I don't have time to watch those bad films that everyone says you should watch because
Oh, like The
they're-
Room.
my argument is there's just not enough time to watch the good films.
I
Yeah.
watch one occasionally just to see if it's as bad as people say.
Like,
And trust me, Assassin's Creed really is as bad as people say.
Yeah, but it's bad and not bad good.
Yeah, well, you'll probably get an audience that says it's good because it's so horrendously bad, I expect.
But then
Oh,
would
is
you
it
go
that?
and watch
It's
The
like that.
Room because people say The Room is bad, it's funny? I couldn't put myself through that.
You've got to be careful when you're talking about The Room because there's another film called Room, which apparently is very, very good.
Oh, right.
We made this mistake just recently where somebody recommended Room, and we looked it up on IMDb and said, "Fucking hell, it's got some really shit reviews. Your friend's got rubbish taste."
And then realised it
And
was
turned
The
out,
Room.
yeah, there's another movie.
There's because the one that everyone bangs on about is Troll 2, isn't it? Not Trolls 2.
I've
Troll
watched the
2.
documentary about the guy who made it, and
Yeah, like,
actually,
it's-
like how disturbingly brilliant he thought people thought it was, and how good a piece of serious work he'd made, and then how upset he looked when he realised this massive audience had come to watch it to laugh at his work. That was horrible, but I don't think I could watch the actual film. I saw enough of it in the documentary to go, that was an interesting, really eye-opening documentary. What a shit film he made.
I think probably what you did, the mistake you did there was watch the documentary and not watch
And not
the
the
film.
film, yeah.
Yeah, but what's the point in watching a film if it's awful and I know I'm not going to enjoy
Let's
it?
go really off topic really quickly, but has anybody ever seen a documentary about a film that's made the film better? Like, I love Apocalypse Now
Yeah.
and Heart of Darkness, which is the documentary
Ooh.
made by Francis Ford Coppola's wife,
Yeah.
where she documented the whole production of the film,
Yeah.
is brilliant and
Yeah.
makes Apocalypse Now better because of it. And
But
also,
do you have to have watched? Do you have to have seen the film first?
well, you watch
for
Apocalypse
that
now.
to affect you. If you hadn't
Yeah, you
seen
don't
it,
do it the other way round.
Right,
No,
okay.
that's madness.
because I
You
do
the
watch a lot of
film.
documentaries about filmmaking, even though I haven't seen the films that they're talking about, because I know I won't enjoy the film, but I'm interested in how they made it. So I quite often watch a making of something that I know I'm never going to watch, just so I can find out how they did certain things
Yeah,
that I saw in a trailer, or for my own knowledge of like how films are made, because I find that stuff interesting.
Heart of Darkness,
Yeah.
the documentary about Apocalypse Now, isn't a making of. It's literally a documentary. It had its own release as well, and it's really, really good.
Rad.
And they basically made a parody movie about the whole thing, didn't they?
Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen the documentary, but have you seen the Redux of Apocalypse Now?
Yes, that film was already too long.
I've not seen it either, but I just wondered.
Yeah, I have a long time ago, but it's one of those films that you only watch it once every 10 years. Like, you can get to the age where you can just watch a film once a decade, and you don't need to see it more. It's good enough that you want to watch it again, but it's not good enough that you need to see it in any time less than sort of 10 years.
Quickly going off topic, did Quentin Tarantino ever do the Redux version of Kill Bill?
Don't know. I don't like them.
No, I didn't really like them, but I thought if you fucked around with them and moved sections into, and made it into a long movie with all the sections chopped about a bit, it might be all right.
There's probably a really good 3-hour fan movie called Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2.
Maybe.
Not fan movie, fan edit, sorry.
If there is one, perhaps somebody could let us know in the comments.
With all the fighting and none of the dialogue, and then there's another version of the film which none of the fighting and
all of the dialogue.
Fair enough.
Amazing.
Going back to the off topic then, so you mentioned about documentaries, about films that have been made. Have you seen documentaries of films that haven't been made?
Yes.
Such as the Superman one. What was that?
The one with Nicolas Cage playing Superman. Yes, I have. It's
what
fucking hilarious.
Bizarre Superman that would have been.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Leather jackets.
What about the Dune one? Jodorowsky's Dune.
I haven't seen the Dune one.
I mentioned last week about stuff that made it into the Prometheus movie that was designed by H.R. Giger that hadn't ever been used. Some of the design work he did for Jodorowsky's Dune. The set pieces that are in Prometheus are from his designs. So the main building, it's like a dome-shaped building with a head on the top of it. Yeah. That would have been the Harkonnen's palace, and obviously never used. And just as a kind of little wink to Giger, they put it into Prometheus. So yeah, that's worth a watch. Jodorowsky's Dune is a cracking documentary about a film that was fucking bonkers. It would have been hours long. It would have been so expensive, and that's the reason why the studio eventually canned it, because it was just rocketing out of control, with music by Pink Floyd, starring, what's his name, the front man for the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger.
Oh right, yeah.
Mick Jagger would have been starring in it. Oh, and
is that because you have to have a famous pop or rock star in a version of Dune?
I think he just wanted everything as big and as bold as possible, and it would have had what's his name, the famous artist that did all the melty clocks.
Dali.
Salvador Dali was going to be in it, yeah, as well, apparently.
Then he died.
Well, yeah. They cancelled the movie, and then he died of heartbreak, I expect. Anyway.
There's an amazing picture of Salvador Dali taking his anteater for a walk. In the streets of Paris or New York somewhere.
Every photo of Dali is amazing. Whether he's got a bee hanging off his moustache, whether he's stood at the top of his tower in Barcelona screaming abuse at people, or he's touching a dead deer's eye with a razor blade, or walking his anteater. Every photo of you can't take a photo of him without it being amazing.
You pull a camera out and suddenly he's got a lobster.
Yep. Straight out of his pants or out of his coat pocket, just a lobster phone or some sort of trombone, cheese trombone.
Made of cheese.
No, leaking cheese.
Oh, leaking cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, what other news? Have we got any other news?
Anime and manga. There's a new Pokemon movie. Don't care.
Don't care. It's
Don't care.
Pokemon, I don't care.
Has it got Ash in it?
Yes.
Oh, no, I still don't care.
Okay.
I'd rather they brought out a Pocket Morty's film taking the mick out of Pokemon, because that game is hilariously brilliant and takes the mick out of Pokemon.
I've not played it. Is it a free online game?
Yeah, it's a free online game. It's amazing.
Rightio. If you've played it at home, maybe let us know. What can you like?
You're a Rick, and you collect Mortys, and you battle other Ricks from other dimensions with their own Mortys.
And the other Ricks are other players, are they?
No, just all self-contained against the computer. You don't play against other people.
So you can't go and chat with people online and hull abuse at them.
No, but they'll probably add that at some point.
Naruto?
No,
Do you care?
no.
No. Longest running anime in Japan?
Is it?
It is.
Has it had as many episodes as Scooby-Doo?
I don't know.
Because that's the longest running cartoon ever.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not then.
Right, can we just clear this up? Are we all on the non-stop helter-skelter towards middle age?
Yes.
No.
I don't
Deny.
know.
I'm already well on my way to like elderly shitting at a table with my family.
I've just bought a sports car. Does that count?
Any of us particularly weeaboo-ish?
I beg your pardon?
No, not me. No.
No.
I know exactly what you mean.
I don't. What are you talking about?
Not into like Japan.
Oh, I do love a lot of the Japanese stuff. Like I love One Punch Man and stuff like that. But there's certain anime stuff I just don't care about. Most of it is the stuff that's kind of like.
Do you like Fisting the North Star?
I do. I remember watching Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star's amazing. I remember
but
throwing
I was
up when I was like
18.
Yeah, I was like
and I
8.
thought I was brilliant.
I thought it was 8. I think
He
it was
punched
8.
him and his head blew up
Yeah.
from a punch in the stomach.
Yeah.
I've got to say,
fucking
in actual
weird.
fact, I think Akira got me into sci-fi. It got
Yeah,
me like
Akira's
really interested in
amazing.
animation, and Ghost in the Shell followed pretty soon afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the new Ghost in the Shell movie. The talk of an Akira movie, I'm not so sure about, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think there's certain stuff in Japanese and Chinese animated films that I find absolutely fascinating. Korean, like martial arts films are kind of a big area that I'm quite into. I've watched what was the film recently that they came out with? Train to Busan.
Oh, is that
Oh,
the
I've heard
zombie
about
one?
that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
zombie. That awesome film.
I've got to
That's
admit,
probably the best modern zombie film I've seen in ages.
I zipped through it to check the quality before I watched it, and just didn't get around to it. I realised, perhaps I didn't have the time and patience right there for a subtitled movie.
It's brilliant.
Um,
Absolutely brilliant.
And obviously, we don't count Miyazaki films in anything. Like, Miyazaki transcends anime. That
Which one's Miyazaki? What-
Studio Ghibli.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
Ghibli.
Well, that's a different type of animated film though. You've got your manga element, you've got your anime stuff, you've got your Ghibli studios, then you've got your stuff like the stuff that came out of Ichi the Killer. Then you've got the stuff that came from the direction of the Lone Wolf and Cub live action films and comics from the 70s that led to animated stuff linked to that, futuristic stuff and set back in the day. So there's so many different genres within those those areas of animation. You can't really compare any of them, only within their own sort of block. Like even One Punch Man is totally different to say Attack on Titan, which everyone goes on about, but they've got that similar style of animation, so you could kind of compare them, but then at the same time they're totally different, like monsters within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think just like I grew up watching a lot of that stuff, like as well as American and British cartoons, and I think a lot of my friends who never really got into the Japanese stuff struggle because of either the subtitles or the bad dubbing, whereas I kind of went, that's all right.
Yeah, I
can do all
don't.
that. Subtitles for me, I have no issue with at all. Where I read so many comics, to me, it's like reading a comic, but as a film.
I think that they failed a lot of fans by producing a Attack on Titan live action movie, didn't they? Apparently, it's pretty bad.
It's almost low budget to the point where it's difficult to watch.
Again, much like I suppose I mentioned the Great Wall just recently. And again, Assassin's Creed. I can't understand with both movies where the money's gone.
But then with Great Wall, there does tend to be this thing with a lot of Chinese cinema where you've got almost purposely bad graphics as if it's a style choice. And then you've got other Chinese films where the graphics are so good, but the film is not the sort of film you'd expect really good graphics in. So it depends. Like things like Kung Fu Hustle. A lot of the films Stephen Chow did, I think that's his name, Stephen Chow.
Kung Fu Hustle's amazing. If you haven't seen it,
Yeah,
it's great.
All the films he's done, Kung Fu Soccer, Kung Fu Hustle, no, Shaolin Soccer, sorry. All of them have amazing graphics, but they're smaller budget comedy films.
True.
Whereas the big budget Chinese films tend to either be spot on graphics or almost purposely bad. I think it's a style choice, and maybe it's something that is more within their culture and they get it and we don't. Maybe, I don't know. I might be completely wrong.
Who knows? So Nurato live action film. We don't really care, and we'll see what happens. So stuff we might care about then. There's a few comic booky type things that have come about this week, so we can just pile through those a little bit. Deadpool 2, the guy from Stranger Things, the guy that played the main police dude.
Yeah.
Cable.
Oh, he is actually confirmed? Or?
Not confirmed in talks.
Okay.
He is the front runner.
Him and Ron Perlman look like how I imagine Cable would look in reality.
Do you know who we're talking about, Ross?
Yeah, we spoke about it the other week.
Not the character, the actor.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. And he was good in Stranger Things.
I've seen him in quite a few
Stranger
things as well
brilliant.
without realising until I watched Stranger Things. I was like,
I actually had to look it up
know.
on IMDb because I didn't know him from anything else, and you're right. I
He's been
just
in
didn't
loads.
realise that. Yeah, maybe he's a very good actor.
yeah.
I've just okay. Piling through Hulkbuster suit at Madame Tussauds. How does that grab you?
I've never been to Madame Tussauds.
You know what it is, though.
Yeah.
I've been 3 times to
Madame
Madame
Tussauds.
Tussauds, and I will never go again.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything in there looks that good.
It's more surprising when somebody looks a bit weird than the fact that they look perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
they
Oh,
are that
okay.
good. The pieces are
Because I've
pretty
never
amazing.
been, because I've always thought it was a bit expensive.
I've not been into Madame Tussauds, but I've seen pieces from their stuff at exhibitions, and it's
okay.
bloody impressive.
Interesting.
Yeah, I went years ago once. Then I went again when I was in LA because it was we got it as a package deal, and it was quite a good afternoon. And there was obviously loads of stuff that wasn't in the one in Brit. And then we went to the one in the UK to do the Star Wars thing, and that was really disappointing because there wasn't a lot there. Apart from they made a full-size Jabba the Hutt on his throne with Princess
amazing.
Leia in her bikini and Salacious Crumb.
Rad.
So would
And
you
that
go
was really cool.
specifically to Madame Tussauds to see that?
No.
You wouldn't. Still,
Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't ever go to Madame Tussauds again.
Right.
Full stop. Plus look, it was Star Wars was only okay, so the Hulkbuster suit would just be.
So the Jabba the Hutt's not there. It's not a permanent thing.
No, it's an exhibit. They'll probably go somewhere else.
You think it's been melted down and made into like
No.
500 other figures?
It's been melted
No?
down and turned into Trump for the American Madame Tussauds.
Won't have to do a lot of work on it, would they? Really?
If you do want to go to Madame Tussauds, the thing that will weird you out will be the height of people. Like you'll go up to a famous person, they're not real, they're wax models, but like Christina Aguilera was like it looked like she was about 5'3".
Well, she is, isn't she? She's
Yeah,
tiny.
but that's they make them to the right size.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
go,
yeah.
Oh, he's really short. He's really tall.
I like the way you went,
Yeah.
he's really short and pointed up, and then went,
Yeah.
he's really tall and pointed down there. That was interesting. That was a good choice of direction pointing.
Speaking of things going up, have you seen the expected budget for the Avengers movie, the Infinity Wars? I think it's Infinity Wars un and dos.
Is it? I thought they were changing it. It was going to be Infinity Wars, and then a second one was going to be called something entirely different instead of Infinity Wars.
No.
but-
Avengers, and now for something completely different.
yeah.
So is it 2 movies?
It is 2 movies.
So is the
Right.
budget $250 million for 2 movies?
Ooh. No,
It's more.
4 times more.
Fuck off. Sorry. I'm trying not to swear so much.
So that's 1,000 million.
It's
$1 billion.
Is that 1 billion? 1,000 million.
$1 billion.
Because this is what confuses me. A million in America seems to be entirely different to over here. How you work out a million and a billion.
I think the general consensus of billion is 1,000 million.
Yes,
But a million isn't.
it's 1,000,000.
What?
$1 billion.
I swear, like, there was some mad confusion when I was finding something out for someone.
There
at work
was. There
where-
is an old billion.
It's every time you add 3 zeros, it becomes a new thing.
Yeah, but in America, the way they work out million and billion is different to how we do it in the UK.
Is it?
Yeah, I swear it is from the research I was doing for someone, and I found it highly confusing. Maybe that's the old way then, or something.
Yeah.
Is that the old way?
What
Yes,
was the old
there
way?
is a billion is a number with two distinct definitions: 1,000 million,
Yeah.
or 10 to the ninth power, or 1 million million.
I thought it
10
was
to
1
the 12th
million
power.
million. That's what I thought a billion
Okay,
was.
so
yeah.
we're talking 1,000 million.
Right,
I
American
believe.
American English always uses a short scale definition, but British English has employed both versions. So
Right.
Oh, that's
when we're
handy.
definitely talking about dollars and or American movies, we're talking about 1,000 million.
Right, okay.
Every day's a bloody school day.
Mental. So that's 500 million on each
Yes,
film.
I guess so.
Well, I suppose if they're bringing all of those big actors in to play their parts, even in a small way.
It's not that. It's production and
But
marketing.
no. But what
It's
I mean
like the
is,
marketing
like-
budget's probably going to be 400 million, isn't it?
Yeah, but then think
Yeah.
about it. Like you've got all the main actors that are going to be in each film, and then you've got the main actors that are only going to be in one of them, and then the main actors that are just going to have small parts. They're all still going to want like over $1 million each. You know, like it's
Well,
not
these are
going
film
to.
stars. We're talking 20, 30
No,
million
but the
paychecks,
smaller
aren't they?
actors are going to get say 5 to 10 million. The middle ground actors are going to be 10 to 30, and then the big ones are going to be 60, 70 million.
I think honestly,
Do you know what I mean?
probably
And then-
out of $1 billion, what you focused on there is probably not as high a percentage as we.
Oh no, the
envisaged.
marketing and everything will be far higher than that. But what I'm saying is, like straight away, you know those films are going to be expensive just because of the cast. Then you've got to add on the special effects. Then you've got to add on the crew. Then you've got to add on the marketing. Then you've got to add on the like all the other distribution bullshit. And yeah, it's not a surprise considering that what a standard film now is how much 100 million for a basic film nowadays.
Well, okay, so 50 Shades was like 50 million.
Right. Okay.
But that's the exception that doesn't prove the rule. The problem in Hollywood at the moment that everyone says is you can make a $100 million movie or a $5 million movie. There is nothing in between. So you can make super low budget indies, and it's a bit like video games as well. They're either low budget, they're tiny little independent studios making games on a shoestring, or they're AAA blockbusters. There's
Usually
and
horror,
movies
isn't
are
it? The
the
ones at
same.
the bottom end of the
Yeah.
scale.
But then we had that in the 90s and the early 2000s. We had that weird thing where Ben Stiller had that company that he was working with, and then there was the other comedian, I can't think of his name, that had a company. And those two small companies would churn out 10 films a year that would cost around 10 million. Now, those films would make so much more for Hollywood that they would help fund the bigger films, because people would just go to see them because they were cheap, funny. You know, they were what they were, but they didn't cost a lot to make, because you'd have two big actors and then everyone else was just small part comedians. And they might have some cameos chucked in where people would happily do the cameo or were contracted from something else to show up in a couple of them. So you get a load of those films, and those would then cover the cost of extra things for something else. It's quite a clever thing, but we don't even have those now.
no.
Like
I
you
think
say, it's
what you've lost is
100,000 up to 100,000, and then or like $1 million, and then it jumps up to tens to hundreds of millions. It's just ridiculous.
what you've lost is someone like Kevin Smith being able to go to a studio and get $20 million to make a movie.
Yeah.
He would have like if he wants to make a film, it's super low budget, or he
Yeah.
takes it to Kickstarter. I imagine.
Or he does it himself. Yeah.
When was the last time we had a super low budget movie that did really, really well though?
Actually, La La Land was cheap, wasn't it? Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
How much was Chronicle?
Oh, Chronicle must be pretty low, yeah.
Because but was it though? That's the thing. It looks like it should be, but was it? There's a lot of films now that look
He
like they
was
should
like
be.
a
low.
first-time director then as well, wasn't he? So
Yeah, but wasn't it backed because of certain?
Yeah, La La
things, or-
Land only cost 30 million.
really,
Right. What was Chronicle?
can you look at the budget for Chronicle, please?
Yeah, what was Chronicle? Because I'm intrigued, because it looks like it should cost more than I imagine it probably did, or the other way around. Actually, like it costs
12 million.
12 million, yeah.
12 million.
So we've had a few lower budget films that have done well, but
That's still, I mean lower than that though.
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
much lower. Like 28 Days Later. It was like 120,000 or something, wasn't it? Or am I thinking of the Blair Witch Project?
No, well, Blair Witch Project was pennies on the was like famously Clerks was like $17,000 or something, or
Yeah.
$10,000, wasn't it? He literally
really
made
low.
that on credit card.
Yeah.
He signed up a load of credit cards and made it on credit cards.
Wow.
But Blair Witch Project was cheap enough that we could have probably borrowed the money from the bank to make
Yeah.
it.
Right.
But 28 Days Later was £5 million.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
That's
we're
yeah,
quite
pretty
good in this country at funding cheap movies.
well,
We
yeah,
have a
look,
lot of,
Film 4.
like the BFI, BAFTA, and Film 4 and stuff. They give filmmakers money to make small passion projects. And Danny Boyle's made a career of it and has
Yeah.
put himself in the category of one of the world's greatest directors because
Yeah.
of it.
Strongly agree. He is bloody good. Right. Moving on. Did you see the Deadpool short movie with the telephone box?
Yeah, the new trailer.
It's not a trailer. It's a
It's a teaser.
it is
That's how it's advertised,
it is
anyway.
the pre-credits scene from Logan.
Oh, is it?
It is. So if you go and see Logan at
Oh.
the cinema, instead of having a post-credits scene, he's got a pre-movie scene.
Right, okay, so it's like going to see a Disney film and getting a Mickey Mouse cartoon beforehand.
Or a
Or a
Roger Rabbit
Pixar.
cartoon.
Or Pixar, yeah.
A Roger Rabbit cartoon at the front of Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not actually a short, is it? It is because it's an animation that just it literally rolls
Into the film
it-
with
they
Roger
ro-
Rabbit,
they,
yeah.
They go cut and then
What,
it's
in Roger
live
Rabbit?
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. There is actually a short at the beginning as well. If you went and saw it at the cinema, there was a short before the movie.
I thought there were Roger Rabbit shorts. I thought for a period there were Roger Rabbit shorts attached to other films as well.
Maybe there were.
Was
Might have been.
maybe I'm thinking something like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had a Roger Rabbit short at the start.
Probably,
of it.
because there were Looney Tunes shorts and Disney shorts before a lot of films in the late 80s, early 90s.
Don't know the answer to that. I just know the Roger Rabbit one.
Fucking love Roger Rabbit.
I want to do it one day. I want to do a TV show that is like Roger Rabbit, except you've got Muppets, cartoons, and humans living in the same world.
Who was it that hired the Muppets recently for a TV advert, or commissioned the Muppets recently for a TV advert?
Morrison's, maybe.
No, it was
Warburton's.
Warburton's.
Yeah.
With their giant
Donald
crumpets.
Trump.
Yeah.
What about him? No.
He-
Anyway, that was an epic advert. That was an epic advert.
It's ridiculous.
It was fantastic. It was about 5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's nearly as good as the one where they had Stallone and all the other Expendables bringing him his bread.
Speaking of crumpets, no, I haven't got anything. Sorry. I wish I had. Anyway, Pirates of the Caribbean. New trailer this week. Hopefully nobody gives a shit.
I don't care.
No.
I've not got anything to say about Pirates of the Caribbean.
There is
anymore.
talk of this little run. I don't know if is it a trio of movies that's just coming. Is it another little trilogy to add on to it? Whatever it is, there's talk of it being the end of the franchise. Woohoo!
Great.
Good news.
4 movies too late. Goodbye.
Right, okay, so yeah, that's enough news in it. We're probably going to start looking at wrapping this stuff up.
We just, as a rule, we've run a bit long tonight and the Bobbin's not here, so we're not really going to topic. We're just going to talk about what we've consumed and go home and eat dinner.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I actually tried to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michael Bay film again, because I only managed 27 minutes and 36 seconds the first time.
That's quite specific.
Yeah, and I didn't enjoy it.
Christopher,
so I
he's
tried.
being pedantic.
I tried.
I know.
No, but
Such a
I tried
pedant.
He's
I
being
tried
a
to watch it
pedant.
again. I got to 46 minutes this time, and I hate it even more than the first time
Why did you not just start again at 30 minutes?
because I needed to remember what happened.
Fair enough.
And I watched it, and I got to 46 minutes, and it's just a badly made film. And
Hey,
Megan Fox cannot act.
I like them both.
What, the new ones?
Yeah,
Really?
I don't care for them at all, but I was not offended by them in any way.
I'm not
I think
offended.
The worst thing with
I just thought they were badly made films, and the storyline doesn't make any sense.
It does kind of make sense in its own universe. If
No,
you
but it doesn't.
ignore it all,
If you ignore the fact that a rat can teach himself ninjutsu
Why
from a
is it
magazine in
okay?
the sewer.
why is it okay for it to be alright in the cartoon but not in the?
He didn't learn from a magazine he found in the sewer
He
in
learnt
any
from-
other form of turtles. Any other form of the
You've just
turtles,
gotta
there
let
was
it
a
go.
decent storyline. No, because it was just a bad storyline.
You know, it's a fucking film about Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles,
That's
and
fine.
you're worried about semantics like that.
Yeah.
It's just, to be honest, they are head and shoulders above the Transformers movies.
Yeah, and I don't like those.
And I think
I just don't think Megan Fox can act, and that's the most annoying thing
you
about
don't put her
those
in a
films.
movie to act.
Yeah, but I don't want to look at her
You
either.
put her in a movie because of her weird little thumbs.
Her weird little thumbs.
Yeah,
I've
she's
not
got
even
that,
noticed that.
She's got that mutation where you have short top bit of your thumb.
What?
Yeah, there's a genetic mutation that humans have where the gap between your
So she's
Big
more of a
thumb.
mutant than the turtles are.
Wait. That's like completely the opposite to being an X-Man, isn't it?
yeah.
So she's kind of devolving.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to bother trying to watch it a third time. I'm not going to bother with a second one.
She's devolving the art of acting.
Fucking dad joke. Next, Baxter Stockman is like an absolute clown in the second one as well.
Yeah,
And they got Bebop and Rocksteady in
Yeah,
there.
but I can't be bothered just because they've added in two characters I like to.
And Krang.
They actually did an okay
Yeah,
job of
but-
Bebop and Rocksteady. Krang was horrendously bad, though. Trouble is with Krang is that his voice acting is blatantly somebody in a booth, and it's the same problem that I have with the characters from the Jon Favreau's Jungle Book, is that they don't appear to have, despite the fact that Jon Favreau's Jungle Book is bloody amazing, the voice acting is definitely in a booth, and it doesn't sound as if they've,
Changed
placed
it to fit in the location.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think
And Krang, it sticks out like a thumb.
I think that's
A
a
bloody
real.
sore thumb.
I think that's a real shame because especially video games are starting to push that boundary a lot more, where they just mocap and act, and they basically act on stage now. Like you look at how any Naughty Dog games made, like Uncharted.
Yeah,
or The
motion
Last of
capture
Us,
suits diving over things.
They are acting with each other. They're not just recording dialogue. They're acting with each other, and they're in mocap suits, and they're using mocapped props and everything. And they did it in the new Tomb Raider. They've obviously done it in the new Horizon Zero Dawn. And there needs to be more of that in something like the Jungle Book. I'm not saying they didn't. They might have done it, but
But then maybe going to the Jungle Book side of things, maybe films like this, I haven't seen it yet, obviously, but everyone's saying it's amazing. With kids becoming, like I deal with kids at work all day long, and people don't give them credit for how intelligent they are at taking in information. Like, Jungle Book sounds like it's far more not pandering to the, like, oh, you're children, you're not going to understand. They're just going, this is Jungle Book, it's live action, here you go.
There's another Jungle Book film coming, isn't there? Do you know?
no.
Who's the guy that does all the mocap stuff for Planet of the Apes?
Andy Serkis.
There's an Andy Serkis one coming.
Oh, right.
Completely different, back from... going back to the beginning of the story again. Just, it's the Jungle Book again.
Right.
But not a Disney version.
Oh, okay.
So I guess based more on like Rudyard Kipling's feel. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
a Jungle Book movie.
Well,
it's coming next
this
year.
is the thing. As long as kids' films aren't pandering to kids, but adults can enjoy them as well, I don't see the problem. It's like that's why I get so annoyed with stuff like Turtles, because they don't need to make it so childish and ridiculous and over the top like Transformers and Turtles have been, when kids are far more intelligent than that. Like, if you're making a film that's going to be a 12 or a 12A where younger kids can go and watch it, make it decent. Make it so the kids can enjoy it, and you're not just going, oh, you're dumb children, you don't understand what this is, you're not going to get it. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you on the basis that I remember a film that made me realise what great filmmaking was, and I was quite young at the time, and that was Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree.
And because some of the films I watched as a kid that were kids' films at the time, like the Transformers movie, that doesn't pander. Like, that's quite a brutal film.
People die.
But
Well,
yeah.
robots die.
But at the same time, you've got to have films for kids. You've got to have kids films
definitely,
for kids.
Definitely.
You know?
But if you're going to make a film a 12A, then it's obviously not just for kids.
Well,
so
yeah,
don't pander
okay.
to the lower end of the children, because it's not them that you're actually making the film for.
Speaking of
This
pandas,
is what I mean.
did you watch anything else?
I haven't watched anything else recently, no. Why,
Okay.
did you expect me to say Kung Fu Panda 3?
No.
Okay, good.
I did watch that recently. Ross.
That's a really bad segue into asking Ross.
Ross,
Yeah.
what have you been consuming?
The only thing I really want to talk about this week is I watched Passengers, and I enjoyed it, considering I heard it wasn't particularly very good.
I thought it was good.
I enjoyed it to a point.
I think what it did was it did a lot of science fiction well. Just the scenarios that the characters in the movie found themselves in, they're quite thought-provoking. I thought it was brilliant. Like, what the fuck would you do if you woke up and you had the opportunity to not be alone, but you were in
Spoilers.
essence...
Oh yeah, this is a good point. Spoilers for the movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Oh shit. Do you want to put a little spoiler in?
We've already done it. That's fine.
Yeah, like pandering to what was I saying? Start again.
See, pandas. That was a good segue.
Yeah. What would you do if you had the opportunity to wake up? Let's be honest, the most perfect woman, and but in essence kill her at the same time.
Yeah, but he didn't really go and look around and really look into any of the other women, did he? He just picked one.
Did you have to know that it was him that woke her up?
No.
Wouldn't have that been quite a nice twist?
Yeah, but that was
It kind of... I don't think it would have worked the same if you didn't know. I think the fact that you know he's done that, and it has that horrible effect on your stomach and your mind where you're like, you are a fucking horrible person.
I think it would have been better if they'd have put that bit of information in later on, personally.
It was weird though, watching Chris Pratt and Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt and going, "Oh, look, it's Chris Pratt, handsome," and then turning around to Anna and going, "He's a bit of a dick, isn't he?"
Yeah,
That was
like
a
he
dick move, mate.
He's
Selfish
proper,
move.
and they
Dick
showed
move.
him go through all of the fucked up emotions of should I do it or not do it, and I'm glad they did. It wouldn't
True.
have been the same film without that section of him making the choice, doing it, and then regretting it straight away and having to then pretend, and you know he's pretending that he doesn't know any more than her, and he's just been around for a year waiting, and then it's just like, a year? Like, what? Like, it's just a mind fuck.
And then the more I thought about it, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, actually, what you do there, should you have looked at everybody's records, like the 5,000 people,
Into the mic, please.
and woken up, say, like, worked out how many you need to sustain humanity on that ship,
Yeah.
and woke up, like, the 40 or 50 people you need so that you don't end up with a load of inbred people.
So maybe one botanist, couple of medical people,
doctors,
like a couple of engineers,
maybe some of the crew,
couple of beauticians,
and then just said, look,
volleyball
sorry, we
team.
had to make this choice. You're going to die on this ship, but our offspring are going to live on...
But then would
Homestead
the
2.
ship have enough supplies to deal with 50 people being woken up and kept alive travelling there? Like, they may have, but it may have gone very wrong if you woke that many people up that quickly.
I was just working on the assumption that the way the breakfast dispensing thing worked, they basically had replicators at that point, and that they were travelling between stars.
Yeah, but it did seem that a lot of the stuff that was going wrong with ship wasn't just to do with being hit, it was also to do with supplies. That's why they ended up having the farm built and stuff, because it's the only way to make enough food to stay alive for however long they survived for before they died.
But obviously, like, Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt, they carry the whole movie because they're just like effortlessly charming. The pair of them, aren't
the barman's pretty good.
they?
He
Oh, yeah,
is.
Martin.
That's like a
Martin
big
Sheen.
old jump in parts for him. I think he's
Yeah.
like a TV actor, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's been
he
in
did
British
Tron.
films.
He
Has he?
did Tron.
He's been Tony Blair.
Tron.
He's been
Yeah.
Brian Clough.
Yeah, he was in Tron as the guy in that thing he goes to see.
But the only thing that
Oh
annoyed
yeah, he's the guy that owns the bar. Is
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
the only thing that annoyed me, and there's lots. Look, you could pick holes in
Oh
the
yeah,
film,
yeah, yeah.
but I tried not to pick holes in it.
Mm.
But when he's flying backwards, more spoilers by the way, when he's flying backwards out of the airlock and he throws the shield, he throws the door to make him go the other way. It doesn't work like that.
No.
I broke my brain reading about
It's
orbital
vacuum
mechanics
it's the vacuum
today,
of
just
space,
checking
isn't
I
it?
was right about it. And it's like, if you're floating in one direction and you throw an object in the other direction, that doesn't change your velocity.
It just alters the velocity of the thing that you've thrown.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
And you carry on floating towards the engines.
No,
in this
we've
case.
completely ruined passengers for you, folks.
But yeah, I enjoyed
Sorry
that.
about that. It's still worth a watch, I'd say.
But it's good.
What else have you been doing? You've been playing this new game from Sony, is it?
From the new Sony game
What's
by
it called?
Guerrilla
Zero
Games.
Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
It looks amazing.
It is the prettiest game ever.
Is it fun hunting
It's
robot
very-
dinosaurs?
It's really, really good. It's like, I think they call it a post-apocalyptic game. So it's so far, something went really badly wrong,
Yep.
and it's so far in the future that you can see the rusted remnants of Earth. At
Right.
certain points, they'll be toppled over skyscrapers, but the world is a completely different place, and humanity have regressed to like a tribal situation.
Machines have
And
evolved.
robots have... there are dinosaur robots, basically.
So is this because of a robot uprising and they've decided to make themselves
The great
into...
thing is you don't know.
So it could
That's
be that there
irrelevant.
was one apocalypse where the robots took over, and then there was another reason that's then caused everything to go back, and the robots have progressed as a more natural thing, and humans have gone back to basic level as well. From what I've seen in the trailer, that's what I kind of got from it. But
But it's very good. The game mechanics are brilliant. You like hunting the robots is cool. The arc in how you level up is great. It's just it's one of those games. Everyone on my PSN list is playing it now, and you can't get them to stop playing it to play anything else, because it's just you can't put it down. Like, it's good enough that I get up half an hour earlier than I need to play it.
Before you go to work.
That's a little bit of a lie, because I get up half an hour before I need to anyway, so I can do something.
Right.
And at the moment, it's play Horizon.
nice.
Testimony.
Yeah. And Anna was either not here or hungover this weekend, so I probably played it for about 10 hours.
So you're 10 plus hours in,
Yeah.
basically. Right.
And I
Amazing.
think to platinum it, they're saying it's about 50 hours, and I think I'll probably do that.
That's a good
Right.
game length in my eyes. 30 to 50 hours is what a standard.
Well, it's
Yeah.
too
game is.
much.
Anything.
For a lot, unless the game's really good, that's too much. I would quite
Yeah,
like
for games
to
good.
be able to buy
yeah.
a game a month, and it would be 10 hours. I'm really
Mm.
I'm not overly sold on open world games.
No,
I prefer, I think as my times become more limited, I prefer a really tight narrative driven story like Uncharted,
yeah,
which is like playing a 10-hour film,
yeah.
as opposed to the 80 hours that I put into The Witcher, even though
Yeah, I don't-
the 80 hours of The Witcher was incredible.
Would you prefer to see a Witcher movie or an Uncharted movie?
I would prefer to see neither.
Fair
I
enough.
don't think...
Neither are necessary.
No, definitely. And they're talking about making a Last of Us movie.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well,
they
a
keep doing
sequel
that.
would be nice, to be honest.
But that's been announced.
Yeah, but a movie. Well, we've got Logan, haven't we? They're talking about releasing a black and white version of Logan. By the way, I don't know why.
There is a Last of Us film out. It's called The Road.
Oh, really? Oh,
No,
yes.
it's just
Oh,
called
yes.
The Road, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
What a film. With, what's his name, that played Aragorn in Lord of the Rings.
Viggo Mortensen.
That's the one. Have you been consuming anything else? That's it.
I've watched The Walking Dead, but I think what I'll do is talk about that next week. Because I watched 2 episodes and I'll talk about it. But
Fair
I'm
enough.
still enjoying it.
Fair dinks. I bloody finished Black Mirror season 3 last
I
week.
still haven't finished it.
It's very,
If-
very good, isn't
If
it?
you can't find, because I don't have a Netflix account, admittedly, I am streaming it illegally.
£7 for
Go
Netflix.
me, go me, saving £7 a month. So if you can't find somewhere to stream the final episode, then it's on Vimeo there. Just instead of putting in the title of the episode, put in Black Mirror SO3EO6 instead.
Yeah, I've got Netflix. I need to just catch up.
It's amazing. And that last episode, I know you haven't seen it, Adam. Have you seen it, Ross? Hated in the Nation?
Yeah.
With the bees?
Yeah.
So it got really panned, apparently. Critics didn't like it. I thought it was bloody amazing.
There's always a couple in each series that the critics didn't like.
Have you seen San Junipero yet?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it.
It's the best episode ever. It's probably the best hour of TV ever, I think.
The only other thing I've been consuming really is Moana, Disney's Moana. But I understand Ross is going to see it next weekend, or by next weekend, by the time we record the next podcast. So I'm not going to talk about it right now. We'll talk about that next week. And that's probably about enough from us for one evening. So, Adam, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Facebook under Adam Gatterell Arts or YouTube's under Adam Gatterell Arts.
Cool.
You can find me on Roscoe Murphy on Twitter. I don't have any talent, so just follow me on Twitter, please. I mostly talk about video games and football.
And you can find me as Chris Quinton's Music and Things, which still doesn't have anything on it, on Facebook. I'll try and do something creative one day, but I'm a bit busy doing a podcast at the moment. Seems to be my new creative channel.
Please subscribe to our podcast using either iTunes or the podcast app, and it'd be really nice if you wrote us a review.
Reviews on there and some comments and likes and subscriptions on YouTube would be fantastic as well.
Yes,
all
indeed.
of the above would be grand.
But mostly the podcast app.
Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen, for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Green Giant.